Thanks for being here. Sorry, we should have been there longer. Sort of rushed through, but good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
There's like there's nowhere. I think it's
They get all like super fancy.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Todd Truax, and welcome to Clarkson University. This is our annual December recognition ceremony for graduates completing their degree requirements by the end of the fall semester. And we will begin in a few moments, so please take your seats. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this important milestone for our degree candidates who are completing their studies at Clarkson University. There are a few housekeeping items to bring to your attention to make this an enjoyable ceremony for all. While we graduate the world's leaders in technology, we ask you to please unplug during the ceremony and turn off your cell phones and mobile devices. We will have a professional photographer taking photos of the candidates as they're handed their certificates, and restrooms are located through the exits behind you down the stairs. Additional restrooms are through the alumni gym. Building exits are located on all sides of this room, as well as behind the stage. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Clarkson's December recognition ceremony. My name's Chris Robinson, and it is my privilege to serve as the provost of Clarkson University. We are thrilled to have you with us here today.
Sego skanagona. Lohetil Yungets Waganyodo Dano Akusasno. Before we begin, I would like to share with you all, on behalf of the Clarkson community, our land acknowledgement. As the staff, faculty, and students of the Clarkson community, we are grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land before us. We acknowledge we are meeting on traditional territory of the Akwesasne Mohawk and their ancestors. These lands and waterways connected to the vast traditional areas of the Haudenosaunee, Algonquin, Huron-Wyandot, and Abenaki peoples. These traditional territories were never wholly surrendered and were only claimed by competing French and British crowns and later New York State. As we move towards healing past injustices, we must acknowledge the wrongs that have been made and work towards a unified path of coexistence and prosperity. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of the Akwesasne Mohawk, Haudenosaunee, and other Indigenous peoples have made both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular and other territories within the country as a whole. So.
Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Samantha Kanata, a psychology major on the pre-medical track, who will make remarks on behalf of the students.
Good morning, fellow graduates, faculty, family, and friends. First, thank you all for being here today as you celebrate this significant milestone in our lives of college graduation. I want to congratulate all of the graduates for making it through the years of hard work, late nights, and caffeine consumption. As I stand before you, I'm filled with a mixture of emotions ranging from excitement and gratitude to nostalgia and nervousness for the journey that lies ahead. Today is not only about receiving a diploma, it's about reflecting on the incredible journey that brought us to this moment. College has been more than just classes and exams. It has been a transformative experience that has shaped us in profound ways. We've forged lasting friendships, faced academic and personal challenges, and discovered our passions and purposes. The late-night study sessions in the ERC, walking through the building bridges in freezing temperatures outside, and our shared triumphs have created a tapestry of memories that will stay with us forever. It's essential to carry the lessons we've learned here beyond this campus. Be fearless in pursuing your dreams, even if the path is uncertain. Remember that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities for growth. Every challenge you've overcome in college has prepared you for the challenges ahead. Our success today is not solely ours, it's a collective achievement. We owe a debt of gratitude to our families, professors, mentors, and friends who have supported us along the way. Their encouragement, guidance, and unwavering belief in our potential have been the wind beneath our wings. As we step into the real world, let's remember that life is a lot like a multiple choice exam, sometimes confusing, often frustrating, and occasionally requiring a wild guess. Congratulations to each and every one of you. May your futures be bright, your endeavors fulfilling, and your impact lasting. Cheers to the next chapter of our lives.
Thank you for your inspiring words, Samantha. It is now my pleasure to introduce our second student speaker, Miles Campani, an engineering and management major who will make remarks on behalf of the students.
In 1685, a man named Matthew Clarkson arrived here in America. He was curious, courageous, intelligent, and excited for whatever lay ahead in this new place he called home. At the request of King William III, Matthew became the secretary of what was then the colony of New York, beginning a legacy that would be both influential and far-reaching. In the generations that followed, Matthew's descendants displayed equal levels of intelligence and success, becoming innovators, entrepreneurs, and cornerstones of the surrounding communities. More recently, or should I say more recently than 1685, one member of the Clarkson family has become very well known, Thomas S. Clarkson, the namesake of Clarkson University. Thomas was an astute businessman, a leader in the Potsdam community, a philanthropist, and for many, a kind friend. Now, we all like to know the story of why Clarkson University bears Thomas's name, but personally, I believe that as much as we owe to Thomas Clarkson, we owe the same to Matthew. I believe that Matthew Clarkson's legacy has led to 127 years of academic prowess, engineering feats, and resounding leadership. Each of us here today has benefited from Matthew Clarkson's legacy. We arrived here a few years ago, or maybe more, and we were filled with lofty goals as we looked for wisdom and a platform for innovation. Some of us spent time in the lab, examining and estimating. Others calculated differentials and assessed deformations. A few of us investigated companies that no longer exist and wondered why that was the case. All of us supported social causes that affected our community and the environment itself. And passionately, we all cheered and rooted at Golden Knights hockey games. Regardless of what we did, and regardless of when we did it, we all made an impact, not only on the academic and personal culture of Clarkson University, but also on ourselves. Yes, there were times when we were challenged and we responded with resolve and curiosity. We communicated, we exchanged knowledge and ideas, and we expanded the depths of our creative imaginations in ways that we could have never predicted. In the process, we have cemented, sometimes quite literally, solid foundations for our future innovations and growth. Foundations that are stamped in university. Now, reminiscing about the past and fond memories can be fun, but it is imperative that we live in the present and plan for the future. Our world is changing and transforming at a rate never seen before. This is no longer 1685, and it is no longer 1896. This is our time to build on the legacy we've developed here, to make our impact on the world, and to begin whatever we are in the future. This is a quote that's commonly attributed to Alexander Graham Bell, and I'm sure many of us have heard it at some point in our lives. Its first and most famous phrase goes like this: when one door closes, another one opens. With all due respect to Mr. Bell, I don't completely agree. Yes, many doors are opening for us now, but not because doors here at Clarkson are closing. I don't think this is the end. I don't think this is goodbye. I think that this is a prologue, the beginning of the next stage of our lives, building our foundations here and preparing us for our impact on the world. I challenge each of us to be courageous, to join new ventures for the betterment of others, to collaborate with those with whom we both agree and disagree, to improve our society and foster longevity of public works, and to be catalysts for the dignity of all. Be brave, be forward-thinking, be leaders in your lifetime. And remember that our legacies will be united because of Clarkson. Let's go Tech.
Oh, well, thank you, Miles. How about a second round of applause for Samantha and Miles for their addresses? Please now welcome Matt Draper, Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations, who will share a message about your transition as a student to now a full-fledged alumnus.
Thank you, Chris. Congratulations to the class of December 2023. Today, I welcome you to the Clarkson Alumni Community, a group of over 46,000 people where 1 in 5 sit at the highest executive levels. And that includes CEOs, scientists, entrepreneurs, state senators, members of Congress, and Olympians. We welcome you with open arms and are anxious to celebrate your future success. The Greek statesman and general of Athens, Pericles, wisely said that what you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. Today, you will receive your well-deserved and hard-earned degree, the epitome of the modern stone monument. But as Pericles tells us, your legacy is defined by much more. As you embark on your new journey, I ask you to consider 3 things to weave your impact into the lives of your fellow alums and future Golden Knights. Engage, invest, and ensure. First, engage. Please stay in touch. We want to know where your journey brings you and celebrate life's milestones with you. The Clarkson alumni community is first and foremost a family. We take care of one another. From your first contact with Clarkson, we committed to you. Take advantage of the support, the resources, and the opportunities that our community provides. Wear your Clarkson gear proudly, and don't be surprised when you're greeted with a smile and a warm story about someone knowing someone who went to Clarkson, because it will happen. Second, invest. The Clarkson alumni community is ranked in the top 20 best alumni networks in the world. But as with any network, it requires continued investment to remain strong. Those that came before you paved the road for your journey as a student, and I ask that you do the same for future generations of Golden Knights. You have amazing talents and skills that can impact current and future students. Please share them generously. Mentor a student, speak in a class, and participate in events. Invest your time, share your talent and experience, and open doors for those students following in your path. Lastly, ensure. With entry into the Clarkson alumni community comes great responsibility. You represent Clarkson, our mission, our values, and the best of who we are. Carry that responsibility with pride and show the world what it means to be a Golden Knight. Congratulations. It is now my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Carl Terry. Carl graduated from Clarkson with a BSEE in 1970. Following a year and a half of industry experience with Alcoa, he returned to Clarkson and received a master's in electrical engineering in 1973. Carl's career is focused on work in the electric power industry, including 15 years as an electric utility executive, primarily as Vice President Nuclear Energy for Niagara Mohawk Power Corporation, and for over 20 years as a self-employed executive consultant. Carl's work has included executive leadership roles in several nuclear industry initiatives, including 10 years as executive chair of the Boiling Water Reactor Vessel Internals Project. This initiative included development of industry standards for inspection, evaluation, mitigation, and repair of reactor vessels and internal components, which have helped support the safe life extension of existing nuclear plants, some of which are now being relicensed for up to 80 years of service in support of safe and reliable, clean, carbon-free energy. Carl has served as an outside member of the board of directors of Structural Integrity Associates, an employee-owned company specializing in innovative engineering solutions for inspection, testing, and failure evaluation, and resolution of components and equipment for electric and gas generators and utilities, as well as several other industries. Please join me in welcoming Carl Terry.
Welcome, everyone. Actually, the speakers ahead of me had a lot to say very similar to what I'm going to talk about and what Clarkson and how it meant to me. I really am honored to be invited to address this group of esteemed December graduates. Clarkson was good for me, and I appreciate the opportunity to give my thoughts on why and how what I have learned can help you. I graduated in 1970 with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. I had 12 job interviews my senior year with 10 offers. The high job offer success rate was aided by 3 summers working for New York State Electric and Gas. That job gave me hands-on experience, fostered an interest in power engineering, and strengthened my job interviews. It also helped my early career success by opening opportunities for greater responsibilities and accelerated personal growth. Clarkson's evolved, and one of the things, I got my first summer job thanks to family friends referral. Then Clarkson provided some support for summer or intern jobs, but not till later class years. I was pleased to learn recently of Clarkson's support for every student getting discipline-related intern or co-op experience throughout their 4-year experience, including freshmen meeting with recruiters. My interest in power engineering led to a very close relationship with the lead power engineering professor, Dr. MSAA Shawky Hammam. Shawky was my advisor when I returned to Clarkson for my master's degree. That relationship became a long friendship and association, even after his death, thanks to my continuing support of a Clarkson Fellowship in his name. Shawky and I stayed in touch by regular check-in calls he typically initiated. As I moved up in Niagara Mohawk, those calls often involved job opportunities for his students. He recruited strongly, and his recommendations worked out well. One day, though, when Shockey called, he spent no time recruiting, simply asking if I was okay. He had heard about a management shakeup in the nuclear group and asked if I needed anything. I was not directly impacted, but the call exemplified his caring about students long after they left Clarkson. I'm sure my experience was not unique. Clarkson caring and staying in touch were not limited to my interactions with Shockey. For example, during a Clarkson reunion over 20 years after I graduated, while touring with a few other friends, we happened to run into Shockey. While chatting with him, 3 other former EE professors joined us. After getting updates from us, they discussed many other classmates with updates on where they lived and their careers. One person who was with us who had not attended Clarkson said they could not imagine such a close interaction with their former professors. But Clarkson people staying in touch and caring beyond graduation is ingrained in the Clarkson culture. I've had many discussions with students and graduates, and they often mention positive and helpful interactions with professors and other students. Earning your Clarkson degree provides a solid base of knowledge supporting a successful career. Over my personal career, I have interacted with industry leaders and experts from leading companies, universities, and institutions worldwide. I learned a great deal from these interactions, but I never felt limited in my capability to understand the bases for their input. This reflects for me on the solid technical foundation I received from Clarkson and believe the same will be true for all of you. Continuous success does require continuous learning, and I encourage you to embrace it. I'd just like to talk about 2 elements that are particularly important as you move through your career: learning from mistakes and effective collaboration. You know, you must strive to anticipate and address what could go wrong, but mistakes happen. Mistakes need to be learning opportunities beyond what specifically went wrong. For example, very early in my career, I made a mistake that caused the shutdown of an alumina refinery production plant, a pretty big deal. The direct cause was my failure to reconnect 4 wires I had had disconnected for testing. The shutdown was from my mistake, which I acknowledged right away. Coincidentally, the next day was my first 6-month review involving my supervisor, department manager, and chief engineer. Now, this was 6 months after graduation. Coincidentally, it was a good review with actually positive feedback on my progress. I had done a number of successful things. They noted that mistakes like the prior day were part of learning, particularly for far less experienced people. However, there was also a very clear and stern message to never make that mistake again. And by the way, that mistake was not just failing to reconnect disconnected wires, but the importance of controls for changing conditions. Never forget that broader lessons learned are often missed because the real mistake is too narrowly defined. That lesson helped me through my career as an individual contributor, as a leader, and as a consultant. Regarding effective collaboration, Clarkson's heavy emphasis on interaction provides a strong foundation. I want to reinforce 2 things that maximize effective collaboration. First, everyone is given the opportunity and encouraged to provide input. Your role is both speaking up to provide your input and, equally important, encouraging others to be engaged. Often, the more significant insights come from those sitting silently. The second, and to me the most important, is actively listening to everyone. My grandfather would say, you can't learn when you're talking, and it's so true. It is equally important to avoid letting your mind wander while others are speaking. Don't try to draw conclusions while others talk, because that can disrupt your attention and learning from what is being said. In conclusion, I firmly believe your Clarkson experience and degrees provide a foundation that will serve you well for your career and life. I hope you can continue relationships with faculty and students you have met while at Clarkson, and do stay in touch and supportive of the university. Finally, while I've been doing all the talking, I've learned a thing. I sincerely hope what I said was meaningful for you. Thanks for listening, and of course, let's go Tech.
Thank you, Carl. And now it is my privilege to introduce the 17th president of Clarkson University, Mark P. Christensen.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Carl, for those wonderful words, and congratulations to the graduates. And Matt, as you head back to your seat, I want to introduce you to some of your newest friends, people who have already started a legacy of donating to Clarkson. Among the graduates, many who have already made a gift this year. These students have taken the first step in becoming engaged alumni and have recognized the power of paying it forward and helping the future Golden Knights through their support. Will everyone who's wearing a gold honor cord please stand? We want to thank each and every one of you for your generosity. Your support helps us keep traditions of Clarkson's experience robust and ensures that the value of a Clarkson degree remains strong. On behalf of the Clarkson community, we appreciate you. Congratulations. And as for everyone else, today, we celebrate an amazing accomplishment. In your time at Clarkson, we've tested you. And time again, you've risen to the challenge. Today, you join a group of more than 46,000 people who, like you, achieved something very difficult, a degree from Clarkson University. What you do with it moving forward is up to you. Some of these amazing alumni you are with here today are celebrating a new Clarkson graduate in their own family. And I'd like to recognize those individuals who are legacy graduates today and the families they stem from. Rachel Benkovich, had BS in Communications, Media, and Design. Our uncle Christopher Hazel is with us. Rachel, Christopher. Patrick Blanchard. Go ahead and stand, families, and we'll just keep applauding. Patrick Blanchard, BS in Global Supply Chain Management. Parent, Kip Blanchard. Michael Boysick, BS in History. Parent, Peg Boysick, is a Clarkson employee. Jacob Brothers, BS in Computer Engineering. His grandfather, James Shaw, one of 4 generations of Clarkson alums. Sarah Custer, BS in Biology. Parent, Clyde Custer. Ryan Fish, BS in Engineering Management. Parent, Sherry Fish. Peter Fleury, BS in Engineering Management. Parent, Ann Fleury. Russell Hankey, BS in Mechanical Engineering, who has relative James Hankey, Floyd Hankey, are sadly no longer with us. Brian Kays, BS in Physics, parent Brian Kays. Nicole Pilota, BS in Mechanical Engineering, parent Scott Pilota. Elijah Chatra, BS in Communications, Media, and Design. Parent Angela Chatra is not only an alum, but also a Clarkson employee. Lindsay Walsh, BS in Engineering and Management. Parent Marcia Walsh. There we are. We're pointing it out. How about a hand for all of those students and their legacy on you? At Clarkson, we talk about the fact that we know who we are and why it matters. One of the reasons Clarkson matters most is because of the amazing things that our alumni do out in the world. You are now part of that alumni community. From this day forward, Clarkson will be known for what you do, for the difference you make in the world, for the ways that you matter. In your time at Clarkson, I hope that we've taught you three things: that you have the right tools to tackle any problem that you may face, that team problem solvers are better than individuals, and that no matter what you're up against, you can find a way to succeed. Everywhere you go, you are part of an amazing family, one that, like you, calls Clarkson home. We're proud of you. We can't wait to see what you do next. We matter because you matter. Congratulations on your achievement, and now the real fun begins. It's now time for the principal business of the day, celebrating the students here before us. Please welcome Professor Simona Mondal.
Good morning, everybody. We now will recognize the students who have taken all of the required coursework toward a degree at Clarkson and who are ready to move on to the next phase of their professional and personal pursuits. Students, you are presented today as candidates for your respective degrees, confirmed by a vote of the faculty and Board of Trustees after all grades are finalized, and which you will grant all of the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and honors which appertain thereto for a Clarkson degree. Following tradition, the doctoral candidates will be presented first, followed by the master's and certificate degree candidates, and then bachelor's degree candidates. Students, please ascend to the stage to be recognized when your name is called, beginning with recognition of the candidates for Clarkson's highest academic degrees, doctoral candidates. Doctoral candidates, please rise, and an event assistant will escort you to the stage area. Mahfouza Akhtar is receiving a PhD in bioscience and biotechnology with their dissertation titled "The Impacts of Spatial Structure on the Evolution of Antibiotic Resistance" under the direction of Associate Professor Susan Bailey. Sama Talal Alayati is receiving a PhD in bioscience and biotechnology with their dissertation titled "Roles of Notch Receptors in Epithelial Cell Fate Selection in the Intestinal Development During Embryogenesis of Zebrafish" under the direction of Professor Kenneth Wallace. Wei Kun Chen is receiving a PhD in Environmental Science and Engineering with their dissertation titled "Electro-Driven Membrane Processes for Selective Ammonia Recovery from Wastewater" under the direction of Assistant Professor Tae-Young Kim. Austin Marshall is receiving a PhD in bioscience and biotechnology with their dissertation titled "Exploring the Scope of Nanopore Sequencing in environmental microbiome research under the direction of Associate Professor Shantanu Shur and Baird D. Clarkson Distinguished Professor Suresh Dhaniwala. Charlene Charis Van Leuven is receiving a PhD in chemistry with their dissertation titled Novel Advanced Porous Materials for Environmental Adsorption Application under the direction of Research Assistant Professor Zubi Verghese. Sri Shiva Ramakrishna Hanup Vegi is receiving a PhD in chemical engineering with their dissertation titled Post-CMP Cleaning Solutions for Removing Ceria Particles in Cobalt Benzotriazole Complexes from various film surfaces under the direction of Assistant Professor Jihoon Seo. Ahmed Anu Wahab is receiving a PhD in electrical and computer engineering with their dissertation titled A Holistic Revisit of Keystroke Dynamics-Based User Authentication under the direction of Professor Da-Ching Hao. Congratulations to all of the doctoral degree candidates. A big round of applause for them. Our next recognition is for the master degree candidates. Will the master degree candidates please stand? Here are the candidates for the Master of Science degrees in Applied Data Science, Healthcare Management, Healthcare Data Analytics, Physics, Data Analytics, Electrical Engineering, Engineering and Management, Chemical Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Occupational Therapy, and Masters in Business Administration. Amisha Garg. Yash Anil Sukhdev. Jivan Ramesh Jayasuriya.
This is the first time in my life that I'm in the
Nagarajan Radhakrishnan. Philip Roland Heckler. John Lawrence Mayer. Aryan Najari. Megan Elizabeth Jais. McKinley and Wright. Kaylee E. Siebels. Haley Rose Sedino. Zazeline Reyes. Paul Akinemi. Benjamin Joel Kevin Mambu. Anne Livingston Mankowski. Melissa Alexandra Carton. Anna Alice Dickinson. Stephanie Miriam John. Thomas Field. Colette Elizabeth Gilbert. JC Wimo. Christy Gayer. Tesh Androde. Manpreet Kaur. Tracy Christine Charles. Thais De Lima. Kelsey Coolin. Anna Graham. Jamie Heather Genzel. Bob Thompson. Jasmine Cruz. Muhammad Al Sayed. Joyce G. Gabriel. Robert Cornelius Cracker. Joshua Patrick Tanner. Elizabeth Rose Laughlin. Congratulations to all of the master's degree candidates. I now turn it over to Kathy McNamara and Kate Michael with the reading of our bachelor's degree candidates. Thank you.
Our final recognition is for the bachelor degree candidates. Will the bachelor degree candidates please stand? Here are the candidates for the Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Professional Studies. Jared Skinner. Andrew Stephen D'Ambrosio. Jeffrey Donahue. Nathan Morris. Montira Hyde. James Joaquin Benton. Anthony Perazone. Mason Van Fleet. Dylan. Sorry, I'm gonna wait. Go ahead, Dylan. Dylan Marshall. Miles Company. Ryan Fish. Alexander Kaprosky. Austin Field. Ernesto Sola Thomas. Suleiman Diallo. Jacob Perry Adams. Jonathan Cliff Jomneng Bungan. Zachary Bieber. Patrick James Blanchard. Chase Lindecker. Mark Anthony Bodetti. Sarah Jean Custer. Zachary Hollister. Alexander Cohen. Nicholas Budka. Ethan Thomas Archambault. Liam Prendergast. Sophia Masari. Rachel Patricia Harder. Gregory Seth Wilkinson. Ashley Perda. Julia Scott Chichikun Comain. Jonathan Michael Shelton. Samuel Vincent Salvati. Isaac Bunk. Casey Mahoney. Jacob DeSelitz.
Fatima Abakar Qatar Adam. Jacob Brian Brothers. Samantha Velamo Kanata. Daniel Patrick Ball. Michael Patrick Foote. Derek Loisel. Indirgu Felice Funkum. Aaron Kelly. Nathan Alexander Black. Shane Kenton Dunn. Tabor Buxton. Joshua Alessio. Alexis Alexander. William Soma. Talana Corinne White. Claudia Lily Beltran. Floyd Walker McDonald. Damian Stein. Colin Sloop. Joseph Mascalino. Corey Zulka. Patrick James Hayes. Hogan Jacob Bricky. Edward Mather Hitchcock. David Villa. Caitlin Cyan Spiridowsis. Lindsay Walsh. Christopher Traitline. Aaron Breathauer. Leotaro Hayashi. Gideon Amoako. Jessica Page Ettinger. Soria Lee Krim. Paul James Mashimo. Luke Pierre Lofall. Alec Chase. Troy William Anthus. Mustafa Jam. Lance Hawk Pursuitsack. Elijah Thomas Shatraw. Logan Ariano Sisson. Lindsay Barbie. Catherine Rose Berry. Jordan James West. Neil Joshua Schaefer. Alex Dylan Rodriguez. Edward Larder Coughlin. Peter James Fleury. Connor Jonathan Ryan. Daniel Philbin. Timothy Charles Leonard. Brianna Sky Schrimmer. Zoe Elizabeth Todd. Dominic Grinnell. Amanda Lynn Self. Brian Dennis Kays. Ethan Charles Matzik. Mohammed Fartusi. Kevin Alexander Rollman. Matthew Alexei Cebulski. Brooklyn Daniel Mayberry. Russell James Hankey. Ashley Misaki Russell. Scott Michael Seebeck. Mark Emery Lewis. Matthew Christian Sprague. Please be seated. Thank you, faculty, staff, friends, and family for your rousing applause for these.
One more time, all graduates, please rise and let's give them a great round of applause, everybody, for today's December recognition ceremony. Okay, please be seated. Thank you, faculty, staff, friends, and family for your rousing applause for these degree candidates and their accomplishments. Now, I welcome Alex Cohen to offer the final sentiments to the class on behalf of the faculty. Alex?
Thank you. Graduates and everyone else. Last time I spoke wearing this much and this much heat, I passed out, so we have that to look forward to crown the day. On behalf of the faculty of Clarkson University, congratulations on your graduation. I'm excited for you. As you venture out into the world, you will accomplish great things and you'll meet interesting people. You'll confront challenges and you'll overcome obstacles, and you will do all the great things written into every graduation speech ever. As you do these things, however, I urge you not to forget all that you've learned at Clarkson University. In the United States, at least, society tends to consider higher education as a sum of skills and credentials. Your diploma is quite literally like a stock certificate. It's an investment. It's a conversion of tuition dollars and your hard work to something tangible and valuable to employers. And so long as you keep working and growing, it pays dividends over the years. This transactional way of looking at education isn't bad. It reflects the reality of our economy and society. But it's also a narrow view. Society forgets that education is not just a professional certification, and I hope that you don't either. A good education, for instance, should provide skills and knowledge that help you navigate your lives. And I'm not talking about just workplace skills. I'm talking about interesting information about the world that's useful on a date, about an awareness of politics, an inoculation against manipulation and misinformation from those who seek to control you, about the patience needed to deal with the medical insurance company that's hounding you for money from a hospital you've never heard of. We call these things soft skills for some reason, even though they're very real and every bit as useful as in the workplace as so-called hard skills. But I want you to think about, just for a little while, all the soft skills that you've learned. I hope that you can see your education as more than a diploma and a path to wealth and professional fulfillment. A well-rounded education can make you and will make you healthier, kinder, and happier. Education feeds the human soul, and that's not hyperbole. Learning new things, challenging your expectations, and practicing empathy. Don't ever stop doing these things just because nobody is pointing a grading pen at you. So for every business deal that you strike or rocket that you fire, try to remember a poem that you were likely forced to read or a groupmate who unexpectedly collaborated with. Think, when you can, about art and literature and films and nature. Ponder what cats think about and question everything that you see. You may have seen a scene in Ted Lasso where Jason Sudeikis hustles a mean old millionaire at darts. As he unexpectedly wins the match from behind, he talks about a Walt Whitman quote. The quote is, "Be curious." And here's the thing that escaped Sudeikis and the other writers. Whitman never wrote that. It's a common misconception, and I'll leave you with that. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Alex. Glad you didn't pass out. Our recognition ceremony now concludes. Congratulations again to all our students. Thank you for coming and have a wonderful holiday season.